Wibda if I divorce my husband just for asking to be polyamorous? I, 26F, and my husband, 27M, have been married for just over a year and together for 4. We spent a long time before getting married talking about what we wanted out of being married, so I thought we were on the same page about all the important things. I do love him very much. He is sweet, helpful, and generally my dream partner until last week. He sat down one night and said he wanted to talk about something. I thought it was just something minor he was frustrated about or a bad day at work or something. Instead, he talked about how he found out that his best guy friend and his wife are polyamorous. He and his friend have been talking about it more, and he thinks he might like to try it and wondered what I thought. I felt instantly sick to my stomach. We've always had a great Essex life, and he's never given me any reason to think he was interested in anyone else. I told him that I'm not interested in being in a polyamorous relationship. I want to be monogamous with him for the rest of my life. If it had stopped there, I don't think it would have gotten so bad, but then he asked if I would read about it and then decide. I said no, I already know how I feel about it. He asked if I would at least think about it, and for some reason that just did something to me. Like instant revulsion kind of upset. I got up and told him that I was too upset to keep talking and that I needed some space, so I would sleep in the guest room that night and we could talk later. Ever since that night, I have the biggest ick anytime I see him. He keeps trying to backtrack, but I know he meant what he said about wanting to be polyamorous. It's not so much that he brought it up, it's the 2 other asks after I already said I would never be comfortable with it. It's like that didn't matter to him, he thought he could convince me, and it makes me feel awful. What else is he going to pressure me about if I say no? And if he already wants to sleep with someone else, how can I ever trust him not do it behind my back? I'm still sleeping in the guest room, and I'm thinking of just asking for a divorce now when it would be simpler to divide everything up and go our separate ways instead of waiting until years down the line when I get my heart broken. He could go do whatever he wants, and I could find someone who just wants a good solid monogamous relationship with me. The idea is killing me, but I feel like it's going to hurt now no matter what I do. While I do still love him, I don't think I can ever unhear and unsee my husband asking me for an open relationship, and the idea of him touching me makes me feel ill. He's upset and frustrated that I'm punishing him for asking a question, but I honestly don't know what he expected to happen. There is a part of me that thinks maybe divorcing him is being overdramatic, but also, the ick is so strong that I don't have much hope of getting back to where we were. I'm going to get an STI test and my gyno is going to work me in today for that. I don't think he would physically cheat, but better safe than sorry. I do think there is probably someone he's interested in, possibly his friend's wife or maybe even his friend. He's never expressed being bisexual. I don't know them very well, so I can't speculate on their role in all of this. I'm going to be charitable and assume there are no machinations from their end, and he just picked this up from his friend and ran with it. I want to be clear that I am not ignoring him. We can talk about whatever else is going on, but I'm not ready to continue this conversation with him, and he knows that. I want to be calm for that, and his behavior is not really conducive to a sense of calm right now. Every time he brings it up makes me a little more disgusted with him, but he seems intent on digging the hole instead of letting things settle. That and not taking the first no for an answer is a bigger issue than the poly ask for me. I think I'm going to meet with the lawyer just to go over options. At this point, I don't have a lot of faith in counseling changing how I feel about him now, but I would be willing to try a few sessions to say we gave it a shot. I'll throw that out there. He doesn't think counseling is necessary. He just wants to go back to the way things were before bringing it up. I've told him that's not an option. You can't unbreak a bone, it has to heal instead. I asked him if he had someone in mind and he said no, but he's not a very good liar and I don't really believe him. He says it was just an idea and there's no one and nothing has happened, but he also doesn't want to show me the messages between him and his friend so I can understand the content of the conversation they had. I will respect his choice, but it's enough to convince me that there's something he's hiding even if it's not an affair in progress, and that's a problem. I've got an appointment with a lawyer in a few days. I'm going to wait until after that to make a decision, and I'm going to take a short trip alone to see my grandparents this weekend to get some fresh air and perspective. Update. I got an STI done. Fortunately, it came back clear. I suggested counseling, but my husband does not think it's necessary. I doubt it will change my feelings, so I'm not going to push for it. He is being overly protective of his phone after I asked to see a message conversation between him and his poly friend to understand the context of the situation. I would not violate his privacy, but there clearly is something he doesn't want me to see, and that's enough. It doesn't matter to me anymore whether there is something already in progress or just the desire for there to be. The shadiness of his behavior tells me what I need to know. I've been tempted to contact his friends directly to get their take, but in the event there is infidelity happening, I would rather not burden myself with the details, to be honest. I had a heart-to-heart with my grandparents this weekend and spoke with a lawyer yesterday. As of right now, I'm planning to move forward with the divorce. With no kids and no joint property or debt, since we were waiting on buying a house till I'm finished with residency, it should be easy to split the financials. The lease on our apartment is up in a couple of months anyway, so I plan to move out after breaking the news and just pay my portion of the rent on the current place until its renewal time. I'm heartbroken, but I'm convinced that this is the best move. I don't trust him anymore, I'm repulsed by his behavior since the ask, and I think it's best to cut our losses before digging the hole deeper. If he was willing to be transparent and do something to work on reestablishing trust, it would be different, but that's not the case, and I don't want to put an effort that he's not interested in putting in. I will be fine with time. So yeah, not a happy ending, but I think it's in my best overall interest, and if he's not happy with monogamy a year into marriage, his best interest as well. Hopefully, we can part ways quietly and without a lot of fuss. Edit. Well, affair confirmed. Wife contacted me to come clean and apologize because they were both unaware. I didn't know until now. They thought we had a don't ask, don't tell situation, so no fault to them. He lied to them, too. It's been going on for a few months. A fellow resident needs a roommate, so I'm moving in with her in 2 weeks. My dad and uncle are going to come down to help and be my safety exit plan when I tell him it's over. The saddest part to me is that he's been a closeted bisexual all this time. He could have told me that at any point in the relationship, and I would have supported him or helped him get whatever support he needed. I'm hoping he'll be amenable to doing this quietly and quickly because I know his family will lose their minds if they find out the whole situation, and I don't want that for him as hurt as I am about it. I'm going to focus on work, and my soon-to-be roomie is going through a significant breakup as well, so I think we'll be good for each other. It's going to be okay eventually. Second update. Brief up to date, my husband asked for a polyamorous relationship. I said no. He badgered me about it and refused to give me space, then got mad when I refused to discuss it or sleep in the same bed with him while I was trying to calm down. His behavior gave me the ick so bad that I decided it was best to divorce and saw a lawyer to begin the process. My suspicions that there was already something going on were confirmed when the wife of a poly couple that he was friends with contacted me to tell me that he had been involved with them for a few months and had confessed that I didn't know. They broke up with him as a result. The call from the APs coincided with my ex trying very hard to apologize and make it right, but without admitting to cheating or anything else. A fellow resident was looking for a roommate, so I made plans to move in with her. I also let my parents and some close friends know the situation. My lawyer advised me to talk to my ex before papers were served, so I had planned to have the talk right before moving out, which set up an uncomfortable situation in which I was living with a cheating ex who didn't know I knew. The plan was originally to move out next weekend, but things took a bad turn this week. My ex started getting agitated that I wasn't responding to his attempts to smooth things over, and that ultimately escalated into him trying to get into bed with me against my wishes on Thursday. I was able to get an emergency leave from work and mostly moved out while my ex was at work on Friday. My parents drove down and helped, and then stayed to be nearby when my ex got home. My lawyer filed Friday. He did not take it well. I told him I knew about the cheating and was filing for a divorce. I also told him that I wanted to do this quietly, that I know his bisexuality puts him in a dangerous situation with his family, and it would be best if we kept the story at he cheated. He could contact me through my lawyer for any information. He yelled, broke down crying, and said he refused to accept the divorce, and I should give him a chance to fix things. My dad came in and made sure he didn't try to stop me from leaving, and we left. I called the in-laws on the way and told them that I was divorcing him for cheating and that I appreciated them welcoming me into their family and wished them all well, but I would probably not be in contact again. His parents were shocked, but they reacted with a lot more grace than I expected. I blocked my ex on everything but email because I can't deal with him. My parents had gotten an Airbnb, so I crashed with them and basically fell apart. At this point, I'm moved in. That part of my life is over. My ex is apparently suicidal, according to a mutual friend. I hope he gets help, because his behavior in the last few weeks has really been strange, so I do wonder if he's not experiencing some kind of mental health episode. It doesn't change the fact that I'm done. I'm not okay, but I will be. Just going to focus on work and taking care of myself for a while. This is probably my last update as I want to turn towards the future. Thank you to those who have offered support and advice. I really do appreciate it.